Ho ho. Tuesday night traffic. How about that? Shh. Shh. I'm texting them to tell them to come get on our video. Let me tell them there. I'm here. There. Oh, look, there's Carrie. She's already here.
Hey,
Hi.
that was easy. How are you?
Let's see if Kate can do it. We'll see if we have 3 for 3.
Did you get my request right away?
Yeah. I mean, I just got it. I didn't even have to see. I invited y'all. Did you see the invite? But Kate says sometimes those take a while.
I didn't see the invite, but did you? I only checked my public page.
I invited both.
I didn't see it, but that does not mean anything. So
Yeah.
here.
Well, yes. I'm trying to get my feet up here. I just got Amos out of the shower. And are y'all getting snow? I'm feeling so jealous of all the snow people have.
We're supposed to get some, I think, on Saturday, but it is bitter, bitter cold. Like brutally, brutally cold here. So that I don't love.
Yeah,
But
it really.
We have nothing on the ground.
It's like 30. I mean, it's pretty damn cold here and windy. I mean, not cold like there, but cold enough for me.
I think she's watching Finding Cooper's Voice. If you
but I
see her,
can't add her like that unless she she has to comment. Oh, there she is. Let's see.
Yeah, I would rather snow than I don't like this cold at all. But
Kate, it says connection failed when I clicked on it. Let's see here. Add, but let me add you. Send invite again. Let's see. Maybe that'll work. Somebody just said, did I ever paint the nutcrackers? No. I bought these nutcrackers from CVS and I had high hopes of painting them, and they are still on my porch.
Still not. So did they come painted and you were going to change it, or they came just like raw? I don't remember.
No, they came like sparkle gray paint.
Yes.
And I want them like traditional.
Yes.
So I was, the world is my oyster at the big end of November. Here, let me try Kate again.
Yeah, I get that. That's next year's project, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe, well, maybe even not. It might never be. Okay, Kate, I cannot invite you because let's see. Okay, now let me try. Kate Swenson, 8 followers. Is that can't be added to a broadcast while a user is connecting? So strange. It says Finding Cooper's Voice is connecting. Huh. Yeah, it's Tuesday, and we had, let's see, I'm going to try to add her again. I just disconnected her. We had a 2-hour delay today because it was going to be 30 this morning. So there was a worry that there'd be ice, but there was no ice.
Yeah, we used to get 2-hour delays. Like we can get over the weekend, it might be like -8, and they'll delay us for that because they don't want the kids waiting at the bus stop. That kind of cold, but yeah, it was freezing. So we were in Canada. We were at a beautiful place called Mont Tremblant over the weekend skiing. I mean, the kids were skiing. I wasn't skiing. And it was so bitter cold, like -1. And I thought, I don't know how they're skiing. It's crazy. Here she is. Hi.
I know. Oh, look, I just added it. That's so weird.
Oh, it's so weird. It's just,
I feel like we spend the first 10 minutes just being like, this is so weird.
It's always harder. I'll just watch. I just see your comment now. It's always harder for the second person to add too.
Oh, I never thought about that.
I always think the first person gets on more easily.
And I was requesting, so you just weren't.
Well, no, I was clicking and it was saying connection failed.
Oh, weird.
But then this Kate Swenson asked, and it said you had 8 followers. How do you have a page with 8 followers?
I'm very popular. I'm very popular. Maybe it's a fake me.
Oh, were you trying to get on for both pages?
I did Finding Cooper's Voice first, and then I left, and now I'm Kate.
Oh.
Kate of 8 followers. I mean, even
My
I have you beat.
mom,
Little
my
old
dad.
me.
That is, that's very good. Well, I'm glad to see both of you here. I'm going to close the store because people are talking in this house.
Oh,
I have gone from an empty house to a full house.
so
Still?
home still for you?
Well, let's see. Well, y'all introduce.
I don't even know. I don't know their names.
I thought you brought people to a train station today. Did I read that wrong?
Yes. So my oldest is at college. The middle two went back to high school today. They're in school in Alexandria by DC. So they went back a day late because they got a foot of snow yesterday.
Right.
So I put them on the train, and we have Grandpa here with us. So he's moved in with us. And then we have my sister-in-law here.
Oh, so you do have a full house.
Does she have all of her
No.
dogs?
Her dogs are at home with her husband,
Okay.
who came for the weekend. And he is back. I hope he's coming back because he's very good at fixing things. And so anyway, we're fill up around her.
That's a full in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's very exciting. And you know what happens? And then you all introduce yourselves. You know in life when everything seems too easy?
No. But yes, go on.
Yes, you do. You know, you've had glimpses of when the sun pokes through the trees.
Glimpse.
You don't know my life. Yes, I have.
You
I have.
because I've known those times. And this fall, I was thinking like, this is sort of wonderful. We just Amos goes to school and I work and he comes home, and so there you go. My mother-in-law is in the hospital, and she had a ruptured aneurysm in her brain, and so she is in ICU and just very touch and go.
Has she woke up at all?
She did wake up on Friday and Saturday and was able to answer a few questions and chew some ice chips, but since then she has not been alert. So they're doing all the things, trying to figure out, I guess it's amazing how we're created anyway, but our brains are so complicated, and she had a very big bleed in it. So
Did she fall? Like my father had a brain bleed during COVID, but he fell.
No, it was just an aneurysm, it had been there clearly for a while, and it just happened. I think sometimes they can be genetic, sometimes they can be related to blood pressure. We don't know what caused it, but it was 7 centimeters, which is very large. And it was probably there, but how would you know if you didn't have, some symptoms or pick up on the symptoms,
Right.
Anyway.
Well, Joe had so many questions earlier. Like, how was it an aneurysm? Was it this? And I kept saying, I really haven't talked to Adrienne, so I don't really know. How's Adrienne? Yeah, I really haven't talked to her, so I don't really. And is Thomas holding up? Yeah, so I really talk to her. How about the kids? So so then I start to slow my voice like I just really haven't talked to her.
And do you think it's because he's thinking about his own dad?
I do. And he experienced, like his mother was sick. She had like a type of leukemia. And plus he's just nosy, but thoughtful. He's a thoughtful human for the most part. But sometimes you just think like, where is this train of thought going? Like I said this 100 times.
Right.
But I do think his dad, Joe's father will be 91 in 2 weeks.
Like as if you had insider knowledge about how Blair's doing.
Here's her.
I talked to Russell earlier. Yeah.
Why don't you call Adrienne? She would love to talk to you.
I will take a call.
What about Amos? Yeah, I don't know.
Adrienne is not answering. My sister-in-law set up a caring bridge, which people, especially that age group, they really want to talk to a person. Like they want to get in the weeds and talk, and I haven't talked to you two, and you're very good friends of mine. Like there is no time for talking. It is 3 full-time working humans and a bunch of kids and a grandpa and a grandma and autism. Like there ain't no time to shoot the smutchy. Yeah.
Amanda said our friend Amanda, her daughter has a brain tumor, but she said the same thing. She's like, everyone wants information. They want to be helpful and they want to know and they want to hear it from her. So she's like, I've started doing these Facebook posts to update people, but she's like, I don't even want to. It's just hard to keep relaying information. I imagine that being very stressful.
But my sister-in-law is doing that, which is super nice. And but that age group, you know, they're not attached to their phones like this young age group. When you're in your 80s, you know, they talk. And being with my father-in-law the last few days, kind of spending the days together, it really does help you slow down though, because you know, he doesn't, if we're sitting waiting at the doctor, he's not on a phone.
Right.
You know, and so it's kind of made me get off my phone and like it took, but then today I was like, well, I'm just going to ask questions. Like, tell me about, you know, whatever. And I don't know. That's kind of nice.
So when you say moved in, because they live very close by, is he actually sleeping at your house?
Does move in mean anything else?
I thought maybe you meant for the day.
Because I text you when this first happened. I'm like, is he moving in? You're like, I don't know.
So he doesn't want to be in the house alone.
I wouldn't feel, I just was saying to Thomas and his sister were in the kitchen, I wouldn't feel comfortable with him being alone out there. It's 7 miles out, so it's about a 10-minute drive. And the house was built 1805. It has 4 flights of stairs. And my mother, he's almost 90. My mother-in-law is recently 80. And my mother is kind of similar to this, but they fix all the meals, they does everything. And that's hard. And my mom does that for my dad, but if my mom like goes to bed, my dad can do for himself. You know, like he might not gravitate towards that, but he can. Where with my father-in-law, you know, he needs help getting a coat on, you know, or getting in the car, and not in a bad way, but like how I would think you would be when you were 90.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, Joe's the same way. Like Charlie goes and puts his hearing aids in.
Yes.
And when my boys drive him
I've just learned to do that.
Yeah, because they're dexterity. And when my boys drive him around, they buckle him.
Yeah, you have to buckle the seatbelt. And he probably could, but it takes a while, you know? And that my children today, I said, I'm going to drop y'all off at the hospital and I'll go park because it's a long walk. And I heard Russell, you know, said, Grandpa, let me help you out. And he was slowing down to walk with them. And I was thinking, you know, it's so important that you witness this and learn this. And they have we all belong to a person with autism. And I think that does slow you down. But I really today thought, you know, I really see this connection of having an Amos and being more able to handle this.
Yeah.
Even though it's a lot to juggle, it's still, it's similar.
Yeah. You're doing the caregiver role right now in the sandwich way. You're doing both ways right now. And that's so common. I have so many followers because I speak a lot about caregiving with my nonprofit. And that comes up a lot. Like I'm caring for a parent and I'm caring for a child with disability. Right. And what I was texting with you earlier, Adrian, is everything is so much harder with autism, like in our world, because like we can't just shuffle Cooper everywhere. He just can't. So right. I picture that being.
Well, this morning we were going to all go to the hospital, take Amos to school, go to the hospital, go to the train station. And I was telling Grandpa like our plan, and you have to kind of say it loud, right? Because so he can hear better. And Amos was listening, you know, and he was like, heard train station and was like, do not go on the train without Amos. And I was like, no one's going on the train. I'm taking Blair and Russell. He was like, you're not going to school. I mean, he was. So then I had to like walk the whole thing back, where with a typical 5th grader, you would be like, get in the car, you know, we're taking Grant, whatever. So then I had to take him to school, leave them all here, because he could not handle
Mm-hmm.
the riding in the car and being confused about what was going to happen, you know.
Right.
And that kind of, that's tricky.
Yep, it is tricky.
That's tricky.
Yeah.
And he did say, when Grandpa was with me yesterday when I picked him up from school, he said, "Where's Grandma?" And I said, "Well, Grandma, I thought, well, Grandma's at the hospital. Grandma is sick." I said, "Well, yeah, she doesn't feel well." And that's the only thing he said. You know, he's never seen one of them without the other.
Oh, wow. That's so interesting.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
Well, you have
enough about all my talking. But I do think, as much as we're trying to talk about autism and special needs, I do think this older parenting thing is just really not something people are talking about.
Well, I think maybe because I'm from the
Maybe
PBS
I'm not
world and like,
listening. I don't know.
yeah, I think that aging is a really big topic and how we care for these aging seniors. I think it is. But we're just not in the right circles.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I think, but
Right.
like our PCA, who we love dearly, Lauren, she's upstairs with the kids right now. She has a grandma with dementia who lives with them. And there's just nothing during the day. So like that is a really hard problem. Like grandma needs care during the day. And I know that someone's going to say there are things, but just like autism, there are, if there's not behaviors or they're not incontinent or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I often feel like to get the services, you have to like check this very tight box that like, you know, so yeah, you're starting a new chapter here.
Yeah, and
girlfriend.
I noticed it's starting to kind of creep in a little. Like Joe had a work dinner the other night and he came home and he said, this dentist presented. The dentist was 60. And Joe hasn't seen him in years. And he's like, since I've seen him, his wife developed Alzheimer's. She's in a space, in a home, you know, in a living, whatever, assisted living, whatever. And he goes to have dinner with her once a week and she has no idea who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like starting to see the edges, I think, are blurring between being out of that space and kind of, and now you, Adrian, but Joe was really the only person I know taking care of a parent, actively taking care of a parent the way he and his siblings are.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but what I was thinking when Kate, I was asking you earlier, like knowing like there has to be a daily check-in person. There has to be all these things. Like, what about people that don't have children?
Well, I want to be clear. Like, my dad should not be living alone. Like, I'm saying that. Like, he should not be living alone. But here is the hard part. He has his mind to some extent. He will not move into a nursing home. He will not. Would his life be 100% better if he was in some sort of facility? I think yes. I think he'd have people to talk to. I think he'd have 3 hot meals. I think his life would be significantly better. But he's like, I'll die before I go in. He's like, I will not do it. And so it's like a hope and pray. There's a nurse that stops twice a week that bathes him. My brother lives nearby and stops daily or every other day. There's a house cleaner that stops by. Meals on Wheels, that's a big one. They check on people every day. But there's been 3 times where he's fallen. And one time he was on the floor for like 48 hours before someone found him. But you tell me how I tell him he's going to a nursing home or an assisted living, whatever one, it doesn't matter, or 55 plus, he will not do it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what happens. They don't do it until, my grandparents lived in Florida and my parents were always trying to get them to move to North Carolina and would say like, you should come, you know, when you're able to like get to know people and do things. And they didn't want to. My dad always said, you know, when you can't get the food right, that's when things get really tricky, you know? And so when my grandparents moved to North Carolina, they really were too elderly to get out and do things. You know, they moved into a little condo and had caregivers. And my mother, who was my age right now, didn't have children at home anymore. So she would go every day and spend a few hours. You know, she was not a sandwich. I don't think that was sandwich as much, right? Because she had raised children already. Still hard, but she, you know, it was a full-time job.
And I also think when you talk about mirroring autism, like a big part of our world, your world with autism, is the anxiety that accompanies it. And research shows that as we get older, our anxiety levels begin to skyrocket. And so,
my dad's so bad.
And so is my father-in-law's. Like, they could have somebody come in and do all that stuff. He won't let anybody in. Oh, they'll steal something. And he's a wonderful man. You know, he's very like, but they have all these paranoia surrounding people entering their world.
It's interesting.
And so
that's true.
Yeah. One of the issues that I see too, and this is interesting, Adrienne, when you talk about your parents in a way, my dad, I swear, has a touch of Asperger's. I've shared that, I think, numerous times on here. My dad is was the nicest man. He's very different now, but was the nicest person I've ever met. But I've never known him to have a friend. He only had his wife. And so she was always supposed to die first. Like they would say that, like he was supposed to die first. Like that's what they were always saying. Like it was kind of like a joke. Right? And his wife died of pancreatic cancer fast. I mean, it was brutal. And my dad, I remember sitting with him after her funeral, and he was like, what do I do? He's like, I don't drink. I'm not going to go down to the bar. He's like, what? He was so mean. He's like, what am I going to do? Go down to the vets and talk to these old men and talk about war stories? Like, and I'm like, Dad, you have to get out and do stuff. But like, he just could not. It was the anxiety. And I think the Asperger's. So it is so important to maintain friendships. I didn't even realize the importance of it.
Yeah, and culturally, for Joe's parents, they were Italian. It was family. And Kate, the same exact thing. And I told you, when she was like being wheeled out of the house, he was wailing like, I was supposed to go first. How am I going to sign the Christmas cards? And every meal he has at home, he has her picture up in a frame, so he eats with her.
Oh my gosh.
Still, it's been almost years.
Well, yeah. So my stepmom has been passed close to 5 years, and my dad just stopped living the day she died. Like he just is like, I'm just waiting to see my wife again.
How old is your dad, Kate?
So this is the thing. My dad is 81, but his mom lived to be in her late 90s. He is healthy. Now, this stroke was not good, but unless he dies of a broken heart, I mean, I don't think he's going anywhere. And it's like, I remember sitting with him and I'm like, Dad, you could have 20 years. Like, come by us. Come, you have these great grandkids. Like, they're amazing. Come hang out with us. But he would not leave the house. He's there, and that's it.
And I read somewhere that once you get to 85, you've missed all the really scary, like, cancers and things that happen. And so your chances of living longer are exponentially better. Like, you can live to 100. If you get to 85, your chances of getting to 100 are amazing.
That thing, I might say this wrong, but so my stepdad has like 4 or 5 siblings. They've all died at the same age, and it's like 85. It's something like that. Like, it's like crazy. Like, that's the point, the number.
I just wrote my blog this week is because my mom passed away almost 2 years ago, and it's a letter to her about the things as we walked through her house. Like, I didn't know what to. Oh, thank you.
What was the giraffe? Do you have it there?
I have it over here. It's a very tall wooden giraffe, and that's a whole story of its own. In the essay, I take myself back to the house and all these things that felt so disconnected from her, but then also thinking one day my kids are going to walk through probably this house. Like, what will they take? What will appeal to them?
Oh, I saw that too. It was nice.
The giraffe has a really specific story, and I'll be really quick about it, that my mom was besieged with mental illness and paranoia and this always sense of being the victim. And I had Joseph and Jack, my 2 first boys, they were born a year apart, pushing them in a double stroller in the mall. And it was one of those, like, these are like those home furnishing stores that had kind of all ethnic sort of objects
Pier
in
it.
Yeah.
Remember Pier 1?
Yeah. Similar, very similar, but in a mall. And she went in, I'll show it to you guys before we get off the call. And she saw this giraffe. It's tall. And she couldn't wait. She got the salesperson, I want this giraffe, I want this giraffe. And then she was going to pay for it. And she all of a sudden got so worried that they were taking advantage of her and that the giraffe was not in the box because they brought it out in a box. I need to see it. I could hear her words. I mean, like as if it was yesterday. I need to see it.
Sounds like Jack.
Yeah.
be so exhausting, Carrie. Oh my gosh.
Open that box. Open that box. I need to see what's in it. Now she's like, you know, like harassing the salesperson, right? So they opened the box. There were 2 giraffes in it. So if she had only like sort of been, you know, believed in
normal
faith, she said, I would have had 2 giraffes. And that story captures her to me perfectly. So I shared about that right after she passed away, and my sister got in touch with me, and she said, because I hadn't been back to my childhood home in 18 years, she said she saved the giraffe. It's in her room, and she had it by the window like the whole time. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not the cutest thing. And then when we went to her funeral, it's 4 or 5 hours away. My husband rented this huge Sprinter van because my kids couldn't fit into one car. So then the giraffe is like crammed into the back of the car. I'm like, please don't open the trunk.
I wish the head was like out the window.
Jack's like, what is this thing?
It's a special moment for Mom. Special thing.
You should have wrapped it up for him for Christmas.
It's not even particularly like appealing. Like I'm looking at it right now. It's not even.
Can you show it? Because I have a picture in my head.
I want to see it.
You hang on there. Or I can bring you with me.
I know exactly what it's going to look like.
It's not cute.
But I think I know. Like I can think of those stores.
Right, let me get myself. Yeah, you know
the market.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. There we go. All right, we'll go. This is my office. A little bit messy, a little dark. Here he is.
Oh, I pictured him being way taller.
No, he's pretty small.
And no, he's tall. But what color is he?
Black?
He's black and cream, and he just stares at me with these little eyes. He's super creepy now.
He is he is creepier than I imagined.
Sort of creepy.
Like, would you want 2 of these in your house?
What you know, a giraffe is an interesting decor item, unless you have like maybe like an African.
My mom's little brother loves giraffes. There are giraffe people, like cheetah people. Mary Scott is a cheetah person.
Oh, she wore that cheetah bathing suit or something. She's a cheetah. Like she likes animal print. Mm-hmm. I don't know what possessed my mother. I have friends in town that have a very large version of him, because they went on safari in Africa, so they had it sent back. Like it makes sense. I have no idea what possessed my mother in many, many ways, but he lives here now. His name is Raphael. I don't want to even get into how we came up with that. So, Raphael for short.
Raphael. So anyway, how was everybody? We had Christmas.
Yeah.
Have we been on since Christmas?
I don't think so, because it landed on Tuesdays, like Christmas Eve and
New Year's Eve. Yes, that's right.
So no, I haven't seen you guys in 3 weeks. We've been texting, keeping us surprised. Adrian, you were away. Seems like we were away in similar places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we were gone. We went to see my parents, and we went to a little snow venture with our friends, which was fun. And we took Amos, and it was kind of it's called the Homestead. And Amos was pretty sick there, but Amos loves a hotel room. So if there's anybody that should be sick, should have been him. And Kate, I was thinking about you there, because I was thinking, I bet Cooper would have been pretty good here too, because I had asked for our room to be very close to everything. So, and I was comfortable like going in the bar, or going in the arcade, and having him stay in the room and going back and forth and checking him. It was almost like if you lived in a giant house, or something.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So that really made a difference. And the cruise ship is sort of similar, other than there were people on the cruise ship, but and Blair was like, "You're going to leave him in the room?" And I said, "Well, you've been off at school. We've been doing a lot of practicing, this of staying by yourself for little bits of time."
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So that's good. I'm going to get one of those Ring cameras. I haven't gotten one yet. That's on my agenda.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Somebody just said, of the 3 of you who met first, how did that happen? Kate and Carrie met first, and Kate introduced me to Carrie.
Yeah, we met.
How did you 2 meet?
We were in a writing group together.
We were in
sort of
Autism Magic happy fun time. And I watched a video of Kate saying there was no, and she only had Cooper and Sawyer. And she was saying there was like nowhere they could go. Like they couldn't bring him anywhere. And I mean, we live across the country from each other, and I never do this. This is what's so fascinating. I never message anybody. Like, and just out of the blue, I messaged you and said you could always bring him here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then I sent you a picture of Joe drinking bourbon or something.
In bed. As one does.
I was very comfortable with you right away.
Yeah. And then I met Adrian, and I still, so I always say this, I don't know who messaged who first.
Oh, I think
Adrian.
it was me that messaged you.
And I don't know. I remember the first video I watched of you, though. It was the Sasha Fierce one. I always say this. I remember where I was sitting, what I was doing. I was like, wow.
I got to get to know her. That's what you said.
But I also made fun of you behind your back and to your face about the way you dressed your children when they were little.
Oh, my nice, cute
No,
children.
don't show it. Don't.
Where are my good pictures?
Do you know that when Adrian has spare time, she just texts me pictures of her kids in these socks and just ruffles?
I have one right here just for you.
Oh. But you would think it was 1940s. You would. Based on,
look at those little red shoes with ankle socks.
But what the other thing though, Adrian, that I never understood, and maybe you won't have an answer for this, but when you first started sharing, your photos almost looked older. Like, did you put a filter on them to make them look more interesting? I always thought you did. Like, I was I always seemed like you were showing photos from the 1940s. Is what I was thinking.
No, I have noticed if I go back to the original, my Instagram, which was just my personal Instagram, then I turned into this one. The beginning pictures of Instagram before I had a blog did look old, and I was thinking,
they did.
But did we do that, or is that just how Instagram was?
I don't know, but yes, it looked like you were sharing. Like there was something eclectic about the photos.
No, not since I've had a blog. I haven't done that.
But then you said, but I don't remember when we became friends and started talking, though. You said it was over subscribers on Facebook, but I don't remember.
Because you were debating on starting subscribers, and I had started it, and I was like, well, you need to do it. You have a lot more, followers than me.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of subscribers in the first day.
I did.
Like 900 or something insane.
Thousand. So this is like a true story. So I was going to quit Facebook. Like I was truly ready. I'm like, I have carried the autism advocacy torch enough, and I was pregnant, and I was like, I'm just done. I wasn't earning any revenue. It just didn't seem worth it. And so I was ready to be done. And then Facebook reached out to me back when they actually used to do that, when people worked there. Kai was my person, and he asked me to start subscribers, and I thought it was fake. And then Adrian, we must have talked, and I did it. And I remember I filmed a video, and I just said, if you can't take the bullying anymore, or shaming or fighting over is autistic or has autism or special needs versus disability, come join. And it was like 1,100 people overnight.
Wow.
And I bet a lot of them are still in my group.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know who your first subscriber was.
So when I used to talk to them, I would ask for that information. I'm like, I want to like send them like a Christmas gift. Like, you've been here for 5 years. It's amazing to think, but there's people that have been with me the whole time. Like people like, so I've moved so many times. People are like, I was with you when you had the house with the painted ceiling, or like, remember the houses.
Carrie, when did you start subscribers?
I remember talking to you both and being like,
I remember.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, it was like, am I going on 3 years? No,
I think. Adrian,
what?
Are we 5 years?
I'm behind you.
At least, I think.
You're 3, I think.
Yeah. 3.
I'd say we were 5.
And I love my subscribers because it is that safe little community that you can go when you don't want everything out in the huge like blogosphere, Facebook, universe.
Well, I made a mistake a couple like maybe 3-4 months ago, I did a post, and when you post to your subscribers, you do this hashtag supporters. So you have to put, and it's just private for anyone listening. And I made a mistake and I forgot one of the P's. So I did SUPOR, which is user error. But I just wrote this like desperation post about my daughter's constipation. I'm like, I'm so tired of it. I need help. Give me your ideas. Yeah. And I walked away. And I checked it like 5 minutes later, and some woman was like, you are such a piece of shit, mom, for putting this on the internet. And I was like, delete! But I'm like, this is why no one shares, because everyone's so mean.
What's nice too, I think we all have this, is within the subscribers, we have this small little group where people can interact with each other. Mine is called the storytellers corner or space, because people like to talk to each other, not just hear from us all the time. So yeah, I love that page. But I remember, Kate, I remember you, for some reason, I needed to subscribe to you oh, maybe I was joining you for a subscriber live, and you were like, so it's $5, but you can right away as soon as you're done. And I was like,
what is that banging?
What's going on?
I don't know. I want to go. I know, but like I got so beat up about the money that I'm still scared. I mean, I have had, like, it's usually men that are like, you are profiting off the backs of the autism community. You should give every penny to charity. And I'm like, you're scary.
I used to have a lot of people that would say, when that started, because I guess it was new, like now people are kind of used to it, but like, what are you going to do with the money?
Ooh.
I used to get it all the time.
And I would say, like, do you ask that to your dentist?
I hope not.
Or like, I mean, yeah, do you go places and like say to the massage therapist, what are you planning to do with this income?
I know. And then it's like, it should go all, or even we just got a comment that we should give all of our book sales to an autism charity. And it's like, well, why should we? We wrote the book.
We wrote the book. You wouldn't go to Stephen King and be like, hey, or David Sedaris, like, give all your
Danielle Steele.
And there's something to be said. Like you talked earlier, you've had subscribers since the beginning. So I've been writing about Jack for 12 years. There have been people that since he was 8 years old, they've been along for this whole ride. But
I have.
Yeah. The same token, I've been navigating like a lot of unexplored areas of autism, puberty, adolescence, medication, now young adulthood. Like, that's intellectual property in some ways. Do you know what I mean? To be able to share that with other people. And it's tricky what we do.
Well, and that's why when your words are plagiarized, I've had one big plagiarized situation. Like, I'm telling you, like, my post that had 75,000 shares was stolen by every person and their sister. And they would just swap out their kid's name for Cooper. Oh. I mean, it was so bad. And it broke me. And there were people that were like, you put it out there. And I'm like, it'd be no different than me drawing a picture and you putting some face on it. Like, you can't steal. Like, these are my words. So I don't think people understand what we do. Like, writing is a job. Yeah. Writers.
Yeah. Well, and I think this video life, well, Kate, you and I, well, we've all three talked about it. It's like you kind of, Carrie does less video probably than you and I do, but it is you're committed, and then you're in the commitment, but then I'm always like, today I didn't get up in time to do a coffee chat. And I was like, crap, my people are going to be like, where is she? What is she doing? She didn't show up. So it is a different type career.
And I think you both started that over COVID, right? I remember, Kate, you saying, like, I was doing a video a day. So people got really used to that regularity. And I started way after COVID. So I think I started slower.
I started it with the subscribers, and then I think I did video after. Kate was doing video way before, but you did uploaded video, you said.
My first ever live video was my first live to my subscribers. I didn't even do it. I remember I can see myself sitting on my couch and I was like, what do I press? like make it go
was
live.
tricky.
Yeah.
I remember not knowing how to tag a page. Like I was in a writing group and was like, how do you make the page name like show up? And they were like, you put the at signal in front of
Hey,
it.
we're all learning
Yeah.
every single day. I prefer writing than video, but but you guys know me. I always come in at the tail end of everything. Like now it's like video's not really that popular anymore. And I'm like, I'm doing video now. I figured I'd do a reel. This is the funny story. I do reels pretty much every day. We were away this weekend and it was like at night, I had my glasses on, like a sweatshirt on. I'm like, I guess I'll just do my reel now. 370,000 views, 10,000 likes. I could be all put together the way I try to be, and it's like 200 people. It's the weirdest thing.
And the topic spoke to people, Carrie. What was the topic about?
Oh, it was funny because you and I had two very different nights, and I want to mention that the topic was we had to stop on New Year's Day at a fancier restaurant than we had planned on, and Jack wanted a cheeseburger, and the server, this great young guy, said, "Let me talk to the kitchen and see what we can do," and they came back with something. It wasn't like exactly a cheeseburger. Oh, there she is, a cheeseburger, but it was just sort of like people are good. But you, Adrienne, on the same night, I was talking to my kids about what happened with you and they were all outraged on your behalf.
Yeah. Well, and Jack like eats sushi, doesn't he?
Jack's fine. We would have easily found him something. It just was like he asked for it and the server kind of responded. But yeah, we never have trouble finding something for him to eat.
Yeah, well, we do, but we had gone to this called Jack Brown's, and it's kind of a chain. It's very good hamburgers. It's sort of fast. Everybody likes a hamburger in our house. So I was like, this is a safe place. But they moved us from a table up front to the back, and people are like, well, why didn't you do 100 different things? Why didn't you call ahead? Why didn't like I'm just sitting around trying to anticipate every problem that could happen. But what I said was when we are with our our teenagers, they get embarrassed when we like ask for special treatment.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it just gets old. And sometimes I don't, and they'll look at me like they're waiting for me to be like, he has autism. We need to sit at this table. And I think sometimes they're like, can you just shut that up? And like, can we not talk about it for a minute?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was trying to like, well, let's just sit at the table they want us to sit in. Well, then the music was really loud. And then I asked them to turn down the music and they said they did, but they didn't. And so then he didn't want a cheeseburger. And then he was anxious because he didn't want to stop. He wanted to get to the homestead. Like it was all the just problems that I made sense, but I wasn't expecting. Yeah. And so when the hostess he said, you want ice cream, which is always kind of his go-to when things get bad. She said, oh, they have ice cream next door. And I was like, great. We'll go get the ice cream right now. Forget the hamburger, because at that point, I just wanted us to sit down together and eat. I didn't care if he ate a cockroach dipped in chocolate. I mean, whatever he wanted was fine. And she was like, oh, no, you can't.
That's not.
You can't bring food or drinks inside. And I was like,
what if someone has a Starbucks cup? I waitressed for seriously 6 years, and people would bring their whole gluten-free meals to eat there. They'd bring Taco Bell.
He can't bring the ice cream in here? No. In my next statement, I was going to say, until I looked at the faces of my teenagers and I decided I didn't want to do this to him. What I wanted to say was, oh, so you don't allow people to breastfeed either. Is breast milk allowed? Because that's where my brain goes, is like, can I pump this milk? I mean, that is my instinct, is to be like back.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do that. I just said, get mine to go. I'll take him to get the ice cream. Mm-hmm. We'll go sit in the car. And, all these people are like looking and, that's embarrassing. And then, but what's funny is I named the restaurant in there, which I do not do. I don't do that very often. Like I was pissed. And I was sure if you name American Airlines or Amtrak, if you name a big company like that, they will message you within 2 hours, or they will message one of us, me, because they are on their social media. Like, we saw your post. What can we do to help? I mean, the restaurant never sent a message, never, and I haven't had time to reach out to them yet, and I'm going to. But somebody said, well, that was very passive aggressive of you to reach to say their name. And I said, no, it wasn't passive aggressive. It was aggressive. Yeah.
Aggressive. That's not passive. Yeah.
I was aggressive. So anyway, but so
we just had, it's so interesting, that teenager thing, because we're just getting to that point.
Yes, you are.
So we took the Amtrak to Chicago a couple weeks ago, and when I purchased our tickets, I checked this box for help to board, and that we were traveling with a person with a disability. What I didn't know is that 2 people work at Amtrak, and it is like driving your own train. So this was our first time.
Right.
So we get there, and the first thing that I do is I'm like, where's the person to help us, to tell us what to do? I just, there's no one. Let's just say the train boarded at 8:30. The person came at 8:27. No one there. And that makes me very anxious, because I am a planner with Cooper. So
that's how it is with TSA Cares. I have never had one person show up. It's like
insane. So
it's in service.
This like man who like looked like he like walked in from like off the street was like, if you have a family car, go over there. And so I'm serious. Family car, go over there. So our family starts going over there, but everyone's kind of going over there. And I know Cooper can't wait in this line. So I walk up to the man and I said, hey, I checked this disability spot. Can I find out how to get that help? And while I looked away from Cooper to talk to him, Cooper went to board the train.
Yeah.
I looked away. And so I looked at the guy and I smiled sweetly, and I'm like, I guess he's headed in. And he's like, head on in. I mean, he just did not care about the job at all. But Sawyer came up to me and he goes, do you know how mad everyone is at us because we cut in line? And I go, we didn't cut in line. I have a ticket. Like, I was so mad.
Right.
But he was really embarrassed at me. Like, he was really mortified. And it was like, he was like, why do you have to always make a big deal? And I'm like, I know what I want to say to him is, we can't do this if we don't have accommodations. Do you ever feel that way? Or I'm new to this.
I mean, every time we go to the airport, I'm like, I'm gonna, it's just getting harder and harder. I don't know why, for me.
I still under this microscope and everyone's staring, like, so what Cooper, so we probably stood for like, he probably stood for like 8 minutes in this line. I mean, it was a long period of time. I'm telling you. But what he does is he keeps moving closer. And Cooper's 170 pounds. He's a 5'5". He's a man. He's moving closer and he inches closer till he's got like his leg like touching, and like people aren't all that nice. Like, they want to be first. It's like it's like getting off the airplane. They want to be first. I saw like a senior man like scooting with him, and I'm like, you can win.
Well, it's funny.
Sorry, it's just so, I haven't shared that, but it was like so crazy.
Well, Blair, they get embarrassed, but then Blair flat jumps in. She might get embarrassed, but then when we were at the airport and we were struggling, Thomas had flown, so it was just me and the kids and the dog. It was a lot. Amos he hates to leave somewhere. He likes to go somewhere, but not leave. And there were like 9 wheelchairs in front of us. Now, these are airport wheelchairs. This is a very sensitive subject. Airport wheelchairs are not real wheelchairs. They are wheelchairs, and there are probably people watching right now that live in an airport wheelchair. But Blair, these people in the airport wheelchairs had filled up the line for people with disabilities. And the person said to us, you're just going to have to go down to gate 3. Well, as you know, we had been standing in the line for maybe 3 minutes. Telling Amos we're going to just pop out of a line and go get in another line is like telling my dad that we'll all be there tonight at 9 for dinner. I mean, it no happen. And the person was like, so Amos, yes, he's lying down in the line, kicking. And I've got the dog. One child, my teenagers were so helpful. One child took the scooter, one took the suitcase, one took my bag. I didn't have to ask, you know, they jumped right in. And this man or woman, I can't even remember now, it's like, you're going to have to go down to that line, like saying it to me and Amos. And I can't, this is very new. I cannot pick him up anymore. As you know, he's, you know, 85 pounds. And I said, I heard you. And Blair, he said it like 3 times. And Blair said, we are going. But I don't think all these fat people deserve to be called disabled just because they were running a minute ago and now have hopped in a wheelchair.
What did you do? Did you laugh?
Yes, I high-fived her. I was like, yes, that is right.
So Adrian, when we boarded the plane in Jamaica,
no one send me any messages over that comment because I don't want to hear them. I'll block you.
My gate had 30 people that in wheelchairs that did not have disabilities. I don't care. I will fight it. I don't care.
That's so
19 wheelchairs were waiting.
I've never had that. I mean, I've seen 1 or 2, but we've never been
it's like Miami. People from Miami to Raleigh do a lot of wheelchairs
because it's not Minnesota, Carrie. I've only seen it in Jamaica.
Yeah, she called out fat people that pretend to be disabled. We are watching you.
Oh boy.
So why? I don't understand. Why would they make Amos go to a different gate?
Because the line was so filled with the pretend wheelchairs. She said, this line is too full. You're going to have to go down to the next disability line.
And could you imagine telling that to someone with a disability? Like, I can't imagine.
Yeah, like, what if, again, right. Like, what if you had been, I don't even know. I said, he has, so when we were in the Lego store, I then went and marched over to the American Airlines counter to talk to those people because he was busy. And I was like, I said, you know, I want to talk about this. And she said, you're right, it's a problem. And I said, well, I don't understand why airlines are responsible for wheelchairs. Like if I go to the movie theater doesn't provide me a wheelchair to go sit down in.
Right.
Like what is happening in airports? And the lady said they need to charge for it. If they started charging, like what happens is you have and my grandparents rode in a wheelchair. So I'm gonna just admit it. My parents would be like, let's get them there and get them wheelchairs because then we can be like, c'est la vie, goodbye. They take them to the gate. They take them through security. It's basically just concierge service under the guise of being disabled.
Yes. I think though well, here's what's interesting. I know many wheelchair users that are using their wheelchairs 95 to 100% of the time. They travel with their own because they need it when they get there.
Yes.
They have it as their way to get around.
Right.
Eileen, what Adrian's talking about is not invisible disabilities. I'm going to back her up 100%. These are not individuals with invisible disabilities.
One woman, she didn't have the wheelchair when we got off the plane. She broke out in front of the teenagers. And I said, weren't you in a wheelchair? She was like, well, the airport is so crowded. I said, well, I thought Benny Hinn's got a hold of you back there. I didn't know what happened.
But I can't see comments. I can't see comments. I don't know that I want to, but I do think it relates to autism being an invisible disability because like they're not.
Good point. Wonderful point, Carrie. Like, and I said, this person really does have a disability,
right, but it goes unseen. It's not physical.
And maybe because he's a child. And so what American Airlines loves to say to me, which makes me cuckoo, why don't you get a wheelchair? And I'm like, because you shouldn't have to be in a wheelchair to be treated like you have disabilities at the airport.
That's not the only checkbox. There are other, and we talk about this
and
in our book.
Have a service dog. So we look more legitimate to me than these other people.
I was just going to say you had the dog. I would think that'd be like
we have the dog and the dog has no vest on. And then they're like, we have to test your hands because evidently people that travel with service dogs like to pack explosives. I have no idea.
Darn it.
And then the harness, they're like, don't touch anything. And I'm like, The dog has no harness. Amos has taken off. I'm like, well, I've just lost a child with autism, so you might want to call the police to go grab him while I keep the dog here. Like, I cannot do all this stuff. They're like, did you call TSA? I'm like, yeah. Who knows where TSA Cares is? That is the best job I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
This dog thing, though, is way different than I pictured it being. Like, it has not. Well, I see people with emotional support animals everywhere. In Target, I don't know. I feel like they're like carrying their fluffy chihuahuas
and
around.
They're not
like
a specific breed. Like I saw one recently, yeah, and it was like a Wolfie. Like Wolfie's not gonna help you.
But like,
you're
having problems.
Okay, let her out.
Like the problems that you're having are like real determination. When are you gonna
now? So Jennifer just said, I use a wheelchair and I'm a paraplegic. It drives me crazy when fat people use wheelchairs at the airport. Thank you, Jennifer. Now, because I had a guy in a wheelchair, his own wheelchair, when we were flying, and it was interesting. They did put him in the front. So they put him in front of the other wheelchairs. But with us, it's always like, you need to get behind them.
Wow. Yeah, I've never, we have dear friends whose son has cerebral palsy, and like you said, Kate, it's a very specialized wheelchair. He's tiny, it fits him. And they were traveling and they landed, and the somehow throughout the trip the wheelchair got broken. So they had to put him in one of those airport wheelchairs, and she was devastated. Like it just struck her emotionally. It's like you took away his legs.
Yeah.
And he's sliding all around this giant wheelchair, and they can't find what they need. Yeah, so it's tricky, but that's
anyway, I'm not against people using wheelchairs. I just don't think the airport wheelchairs should be put above all other disabilities, like autism.
Yeah,
I think
I don't
that's
think
really
you even care about people using wheelchairs. I think you care that your disability isn't being recognized.
Right.
It's even different than that. Like they have 50 people at the airport in wheelchairs. It's fine, but like it just goes back to that our kids, it's invisible and people don't want to help or show kindness.
Well, and I think Honor has a vest on, and she has a photo badge, 3, one with Amos, one with me, and one with Honor. And flying with a service dog is harder these days because certain airlines, they all require different things, but it's not as easy. But American Airlines is still pretty loose with how you get permission. And I think what happens is then people expect that they're not really service dogs. So the harder it gets to fly with a dog, the more people expect that they really are service dogs.
Got it.
Right? Like, it is not legal for a service dog to ride in a grocery cart. So like I said to my manager at Food Line, that woman, it's illegal for her dog to be in the grocery cart. He was like, what if it's a service dog? I said, it doesn't matter. Service dogs are not allowed on the chair of an airplane, or they have to be on the floor of a restaurant. They can't be on a chair of a restaurant.
Oh, wow.
And so a lot of people don't know the law, and they get nervous and don't say anything, where I'll say to somebody like, what are your disability tasks?
Wow.
Because that's a question you can ask anyway.
Do you ever think about having your dog be a service dog?
Never in a million years. I never wanted a service dog. We had 2 labs that we loved. They passed away, and now we have
You just
tankers.
wanted a pet. You didn't want a
I didn't want another thing. I couldn't manage Cooper, and also just knowing Cooper, I didn't see it just wasn't for us.
Yeah.
But there's certain messages that you get constantly, and mine are, why don't you get a service dog? Just teach him sign language. There's just certain ones that you get all the time. Yeah, and it was like, I'm good without a service dog. I'm good.
And a service dog is a lot of work. I would know more.
You told me. Yeah,
I would know more train. I mean, our service dog was born as a service dog, is worth $75,000, had incredible training. I mean, I can't imagine just taking a dog on a plane.
Right.
I mean, I had to go through a year of training. Like, it ain't any like walk in the park.
Right. That's what, and they have to go back for training, right? Isn't there like
Oh, we're recertified every year. Yeah.
That's a
And
lot.
this year at recertification, we had to call security twice to find Amos.
Oh dear.
So that just tells you at the mall.
Well, talking about, I mean, my teenagers, I do think they outgrow getting embarrassed a little bit. Mine are just a little bit older than yours, Adrian, and we just traveled. And the only way Jack could ski was if his brother skied with him, because I don't ski and my husband has this cold allergy, so he can't ski in the cold. And it was so interesting to hear their stories at the end of the day, because Charlie said, so Jack, as everybody knows, has a wee bit trouble with budgeting and money. He's very worried about everybody else's money, but not how he spends money. So he has a credit card that's matches our credit card, you know, for expenses. So Joe said to the boys, just have Jack pay for everything when you're out on the slopes. You get lunch, you know, it's easier that way.
Because it's your credit card and he can use it. Yes. Charlie, like my children have it in their Apple Pay wallets. Like you can use this for specific things.
For certain things, right? Yeah. Charlie's like, Mom, I was so embarrassed. I'm having my special needs brother pay for everything. He's buying my lunch. He's getting my skis. So Charlie was buddied up with him for most of the day. And he said, and Jack took a really bad fall. And Charlie said, I was behind him and I could see it happen an instant before it happened. And he went up and then he just landed flat on his back. And they call it a yard sale. He said it was a yard sale all over the mountain. All his equipment was everywhere. And so Charlie had to fish his skis out of the woods, and then Jack got up and had a bloody nose. And I said, but how was he? You know, you don't know, like Jack could like lose his mind. He's like, you know, he only said the F word like 3 times. He was really good. I can't say they're embarrassed. Henry is often like, Jack's movements are very big and unusual. So Henry's always like, can you know, just settle down, Jack, just settle down. So.
Well, and he doesn't like writhe on the floor either.
No. I mean, no.
Like my children are like, Amos is going to like at the table when we were at the restaurant and the music was loud, like they were gathering up all the drinks and like putting them down at the end of the table because they knew, like when Kate, I think Cooper does this, when this happens, all the drinks,
it's done.
Goes flying, you know, and at that point, like, oh, I mean, I think it's terrible too.
It's more what's going to come out of Jack's mouth. Like we were talking just now at dinner about how somebody who used to be in Jack's program worked in a restaurant, but was vegan. So she would scream at everybody who was buying meat. Like, you should have sausage pizza. And Jack said, to be fair, that's all vegans.
Oh, funny.
Jack is funny. Okay, thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have time to go to my subscriber page for a minute?
I have to hop on a special Zoom.
Is
that okay?
What is this special Zoom?
I'm not sharing publicly, but I can share privately.
It doesn't include us, so it's very sad.
I would love for you to be there with me.
She started an OnlyFans page.
Jamie and Sawyer say I should do that all the time.
And it's just her feet.
No, we should do one for Invisalign and braces.
Yeah.
As someone pointing out my teeth, I think it was my teeth. I don't think it was very kind. But yeah, I have Invisalign.
Oh, they're in it. And you're talking just great.
Look how much my teeth have moved.
Let's see. Oh yeah, they look good. Carrie, let's see yours.
I don't have mine yet. I was gonna wait till after we do audio.
Mine are better.
I put my new things in every Tuesday, and I'm telling you, when you put them in, it's like,
I know. And I live with the dentist who will be administering them, so there will be no cheating.
Oh, I've been cheated once. You can't cheat.
I think you cheat at this age. Like, I'm committed. Grandpa and I are going to the orthodontist on Thursday.
Adrian, your day is about to become nothing but appointments. Nothing.
Is he a good sport? Is he a good sport? Like, I mean, do you mind having him with you?
No, it's nice. It's very similar to having Amos. It's like he kind of moves slow, you know, but he's better, obviously, behaved. But
why do braces make us vain?
Vain. I know, Chris. I
mean, look at me, guys. I am the picture of vain.
Need them, or this tooth. I might lose a tooth. Like I need these.
I have four cracked teeth. I mean, aren't people allowed to have teeth? I like teeth.
I don't know how you guys see comments. I can never see the comments.
You're lucky.
I think so.
No, so it's yeah, it's nice. I mean, so Thursday we'll go to the hospital and then we will go to the orthodontist. It's kind of good. Tomorrow we don't have anything to do. I have, some work stuff I need to do. So I was asking my husband what his plans were. And he was like, well, I have to go to 3 courtrooms. And I was like, well, your dad might enjoy going. And he was like, kind of looked worried.
And you don't
the lunch.
You can't leave him. He could be alone in your house.
No, you can leave him alone, but I just hate for him to like be sitting.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law was good about like, well, they would go do this. She just kind of took him around places. So that's why I was like, well, he and I will just do things. Anyway.
Worried. You don't want him sitting home and getting really worried about her.
No, and my in-laws have more friends than I have ever had in my life.
Wow.
I mean, they have really cultivated, like today I said, who are your friends that you grew up with in Edenton? And he named 4 people I know.
Wow.
That he, like 2 of them called today while we were driving. He doesn't have a phone. So that has really been my husband's job, is to answer and return phone calls. So when people text me, I just send them my husband's number.
Could you get him a phone? Like my father,
he's had a phone. He like no phone.
He doesn't like it. Yeah, my father-in-law doesn't use a lot, but yeah.
No.
All right, Kate.
Okay, Kate. Well, Carrie, let's pop over there for a minute. Then I gotta go get Amos to bed.
Good night.